Hey babes, it's me Andrea, and I'm here to chat with you today about tips that I've picked up along the way that I would like to share. First, I would like to say to keep your scalp moisturized with an oil or oils, with natural oils or a light grease. Okay, now I have sensitive skin, so I use natural oils instead of grease. So grease is also, a light grease is also great if you're able to use it safely. Is the perk for the grease is the fact that it's thicker. Even though you're using a light grease, it's thicker. So by your scalp being exposed, it's more touched by surfaces, cloth surfaces, hats, pillows, pulling your shirt over your head, like just anything that touches your scalp. The perk for using grease is the fact that it puts a barrier on your hair, similar to how we put Vaseline on as a barrier, and it holds in moisture, and it keeps your scalp moisturized longer because you don't have to use it as often, and it doesn't absorb as fast. So by my using natural oils, I put it on my hair more often because my scalp absorbs it, as well as the fact that what I put on my head to protect my head, like my do-rag, it also soaks up in the do-rag too as well. So I use my oils when I get out the shower, and I use my oils sometimes before I go to bed with my do-rag on. So the first tip is to keep your scalp moisturized, okay? And I'm skipping around because that brings me to the thought that by it being the wintertime, you are soaking up your moisture with your hat. So I suggest either wearing a do-rag or a spandex cap under your hat. Okay, this is a spandex cap. I got it at the hair store. I'm sure you can get them on. You can get them online. You can get anything online. But spandex caps are convenient for your head under your hat because it keeps your moisture on your scalp, and it keeps it from being absorbed, as well as if you're wearing a knitted hat and you have the holes in your hat, then it protects your head from extra cold. Or even if you are a person that just wears a hood in the winter, the air still goes underneath on the sides of the hood, and the spandex caps are convenient for that reason. And then when you take your hood off or your hat, you can just slide it right off. Okay, so here's a spandex cap. Personally, I use a do-rag. I use a do-rag because it's more convenient for me when I leave, because I wear my do-rag around the house, and it's easier for me to just slip a hat over my do-rag when I go. Okay, so I wrote it down because there's a few. The second tip is to wash your hair after every time that you do a shave. Okay, so you wash your head after every shave, first of all, for your scalp, because most times when we shave our heads, well, for me personally, every time I shave my head, I still see the dandruff. There's dandruff. So even if I don't have dandruff before I shave my head, I have dandruff after and during shaving my head. So right now I'm 4 days in after my shave of 00 bald just 4 days ago. So after I shave my head, I wash my hair and I put my oil, or you would put your grease with that, whichever you choose. And then if it's nighttime, cover your head with your do-rag, okay? Also, I would suggest covering your head with your do-rag or your spandex cap your do-rag or your spandex cap while you're in the shower. Now, I say this because that cool air on your head when you get out the shower is not good. Now, when we first get out the shower is warm still. So when I wear my do-rag while I'm in the shower, but when I get out the shower, the bathroom is still warm. So that is when I take my do-rag off and I'll put my oil on my head for the day while my pores are open from the warmness of the bathroom, okay? And I put my lotion on my body and I get dressed and I'm good, okay? So if you shave your head at night, which I do, I shave my hair at night and then I wash my hair and I put my oil on my head and then I put my do-rag on for the night and leave it alone. Okay, so that way tomorrow when I take my shower, I don't necessarily have to put the oil on my head because I did it the night before. So it's kind of the same, you know, I don't want to say the same as when you have your hair loose because, you know, but it is the attempt to keep your scalp moisturized is the same as trying to hold the moisture in your hair so your hair isn't brittle, okay? So I'm very conscious of my scalp being moisturized, as you should, because your scalp is out and you don't want to have dandruff in your hair and not know it. And you also want to train your scalp to be to the way that it is exposed at this point. So it will get used to not drying out as fast. Okay. So the next tip is if you don't have an apron. Okay. So if you don't have an apron while shaving your head, you can use a black garbage bag and cut the head out of the garbage bag and stick your head in the bag through the hole and wear it as an apron. That's one thing that you can do that's helpful. But what I do is I take a scarf, like a regular hair scarf, and I drape it over my shoulders and I tie it at the neck. And then after I shave my head, I just shake the scarf on my garbage bag that I have on the floor. I also take a black garbage bag and cut it to where it's laid out flat on the floor. So that way, while I shave my head, the hair falls on the garbage bag and I'm able to just pick the garbage bag up and throw the hair away when I'm finished. Okay. And if I see little hairs or whatever, I could actually, it's just such small enough amount of hair that I'm actually able to just damp a paper towel and wipe it up like that. So that's another tip, to use an apron. To use a garbage bag make your own apron with a garbage bag or a scarf, and to put a garbage bag on the floor so that you don't have as big a cleanup. Okay, so the next tip is to wear a do-rag or a spandex cap over your head. Oh, I told you already. Wear that under your hat. And to avoid a mess on the those are all my tips. Okay. I knew that I was going to do that. Everything that I mentioned to you, I wrote down, but I knew that it was all going to come together as I spoke. So those are all my helpful tips. That was quick in a nutshell. Make sure you keep your scalp moisturized. Decide whether oils or a light grease is best for you. Keep a do-rag or a spandex cap handy. It's handy indoors and outdoors. Don't be afraid to use garbage bags to avoid making a mess and still protect your eye. It's really not necessary to sleep with a do-rag or a spandex cup on your head at night, but I still do, just to hold the moisture on my scalp 24/7 the best I can. So with that being said, God be with you. Bye.